We are live. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to wait for people to join. Let's see if anyone joins. Hello. I can see that there are people starting to come in. Hello, everyone. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me clearly. You can see me okay. Are you excited for today's video? Because I have so much information to share about the month of March. Comments. Oh, great. Hello, Ken. Welcome. Welcome. Good to see you here. I hope you enjoy the live. Hello, Debjani. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Hi. Hello. Great. All good for audio and video from SH. Hi, Danielle. How are you? I hope you're well. Hello. Hi, Angela. Oh, good. I'm glad I said it perfectly. Okay, so now a few of you have joined. I'm going to be talking about the month of March today. I hope that you're looking forward to this video because there's a lot to talk about. Now, in terms of, oh, hello, Stephen. Welcome. In terms of, hello, Stephanie. Good morning. In terms of how long you're going to be here for, it could be about 30 minutes or so, but we'll kind of see with time. So before we do dive into this, of course, welcome everyone. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. And if you are new, my name is Hannah. I am a Western Practical Astrologer. And if you are interested in my videos, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, click the bell so you can become updated with further content from myself. Hello, Karen. And also, if you're interested in any of my services, I have some personal readings there on my website, hannahselsewhere.com. There you can also find my practical astrology ebooks and merch, and you can also find the astrology guide. Okay, so let's get into March. I'm just going to share this presentation with you all. There we are. Okay, I hope you enjoy this. So just some important dates to note, to keep in mind throughout March is, well, we have a lot going on clearly, as you can see. It's a very eventful month, many changes. So we have Mercury entering Pisces on the 2nd of March. The full moon in Virgo is taking place very soon, actually, on the 7th of March. And not long after that, Saturn will enter Pisces. So that is approaching very, 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 very quickly, everyone. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Violet. Welcome. Now, with Saturn entering Pisces, I will be talking about this transit at the end of March. So my club, which is called the Cosmic Warriors Club, you can go to cosmicwarriorsclub.com. And in that club, we're going to be talking about Saturn entering Pisces. So moving on, we have, hi, Amber. Hi, CJB. Oh, it's amazing to see people from all different parts of the world. So like I said, oh, wow. Thank you so much, Angela. That was really, really kind of you. Thank you so much. So moving on, there's going to be the Jupiter conjunct Chiron coming on the 12th of March, Venus entering Taurus there on the 16th, Mercury entering Aries on the 19th, and then Aries season begins, and then we have this new moon in Aries. So it's like boom, 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 just very much Aries by the 19th of March. And then we also have Pluto entering Aquarius for a few weeks from the 23rd of March. And again, we're going to be talking about this transit, Pluto entering Aquarius in the Cosmic Warriors Club. So I hope to see you there, and I will let you all know more information about the club and how to join and everything in the next coming weeks. And lastly, we have Mars entering Cancer on the 25th of March. Now, Mars, of course, has been in Gemini for the last 7 months or so. So I'm sure this move will feel quite refreshing for many of us. All right, so that's the kind of overview. So well, before we do get into it, like I said, the Cosmic Warriors Club is coming. So there's going to be written horoscopes. There's going to be monthly, weekly, and daily horoscopes in the Cosmic Warriors Club. And it's all going to kick off from the 18th of March. And then the first live event will be all about Aries season, really looking at what the sign of Aries teaches us. And that's going to be on the 21st of March. So mark your calendars, follow the Cosmic Warriors Club Instagram page if you're interested. And then, of course, there is the website there. But as I say, I will let you know more information. I do apologize if I seem like I'm really out of breath. And maybe it's because I'm quite nervous because this is all very new to me. So be patient with me, but I do hope that you still enjoy this presentation today. And hopefully, the more and more I do this, the less nervous I will be. Okay. So, Mercury entering Pisces. This is going to occur for the first 2 weeks of March. So, from the 2nd to the 19th of March. Now, the thing about Mercury being in Pisces is it's in its fall in this sign. So it could be that it will become quite challenging for us to get our point across. Being logical isn't really a Pisces theme. Thinking rationally, it doesn't really tend to be a Pisces theme, though I suppose Pisces does have that other side to it where it can be quite grounded and rational. But still, there is this likelihood of us perhaps becoming too caught up in our imagination or in our emotions. So, yeah, the lines can be blurred at times when it comes to communication with Mercury entering Pisces. So, just be aware of these things. But at the same time, this is also an opportunity for us to be really soft and gentle when communicating. There's the ability to empathize with other people, to really try to understand where they're coming from on a deeper emotional level. And there's also the ability to listen, to really listen, to be receptive and open to hearing what other people have to say, to take information in, and also following a stream of consciousness. Often it's that we can be quite critical of ourselves, even if we think about the opposite sign of Pisces, which is Virgo. There can be that inner critic. But with following a stream of consciousness, it's more so about removing those barriers and removing those thoughts, or I suppose not giving in to those thoughts is a better way of putting it. And instead just flowing with our creativity, flowing with what we want to say, rather than becoming too caught up in little details or criticisms. Also, this is a time for us to really reflect, go inward, and to get quiet, to become quiet and to dream and visualize and consider what our fantasies are, consider what we want to create. Moreover, there is that very emotional and sensitive side here. So I kind of touched on this, being somewhat empathetic and sensitive toward other people whenever they are trying to communicate. This could look like, for example, just being patient with others, giving them the space to open up or to share. Moreover, there is the ability to visualize when it comes to Mercury being in Pisces, really visualizing and daring to dream, doing the unthinkable and making decisions in a way that is quite intuitive. So, kind of going back to what I was mentioning earlier, um, instead of allowing criticisms or even the logical mind to come in and make decisions for us, maybe sometimes it's good to actually really listen to our inner guide, to listen to our intuition and go from there. And then, like I said, there is that empathetic side to this energy. So being empathetic within discussions and conversations and really being open then to other people's perspectives. And thinking here then along the lines of subjects and topics we may be interested in. It could be that we're really focused on symbols and we're interested in mythology and we love the visuals. We love things that are really creative and beautiful. And then I suppose too, when it comes to this energy, being able to improvise, just going with it, right? Go with the flow, says Pisces. Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you. Thanks very much, Amber and Violet. That's really sweet of you to say. Moving on. The full moon in Virgo is going to take place on the 7th of March. I will be making a video about this full moon, so I hope you can make that one. That will be next week. But this full moon is going to occur at 16 degrees. And full moons, then, thinking here along the lines of releasing, resetting, closing chapters, reaping rewards. So this could look like us releasing the inner critic. And I do believe that Mercury will be opposing. So Mercury in Pisces will oppose the full moon in Virgo. So I suppose when we think about that inner critic again, this is an opportunity for us to release it, for us to kind of let it go. Moreover, there is the ability to reset how we look after ourselves. So if we consider how we take care of ourselves, thinking about our health, our health has to come first. Thinking about also our work, our routines, our daily habits. Consider then what your daily routines and habits are, and are they healthy? Are they serving you? Maybe there's something you would like to let go there. Moving on to strong emotions. So full moons can suggest us that we have really strong emotions during it. So this could look like us having strong emotions about our knowledge. And there's also the ability to perhaps close a chapter. There's a likelihood of us closing a chapter when it comes to improvement, being too fussy, too picky, too dogmatic as well. There can be this side to Virgo that's quite judgmental and overly harsh and critical. So closing some chapters there when it comes to such qualities, and then thinking about our healing too. And with full moons, there's also the ability to, reap rewards. So it could be that we reap rewards to do with our services, to do with our dedication, to do with corrections that we've made, any improvements that we made. Yeah, it may be that you are rewarded in some way. And then lastly, they're looking at how we will be illuminating our organization, our helpfulness, our discretion, illuminating our hygiene, our cleanliness. These types of themes will play out. And all of this then will be happening right before Saturn enters Pisces. So this is going to be quite a big transition. Of course, we have had Saturn in Aquarius for the last 3 years or so. And Saturn will be in Pisces for the next 3 years or so. Like I said, there will be a live event. So we'll be talking about this transit in more detail, looking at horoscopes for it as well. And the live event will take place on the 26th of March. So just to give you an idea though today about what this transit will entail. So it could look like us solidifying our spiritual practices, our healing, our inner growth, our dreams as well, bringing our dreams to life, so to speak, bringing form to our dreams, even thinking about our creativity and bringing form to our imagination and to our biggest fantasies. And at the same time, being practical, There needs to be that practicality involved as well. Of course, this is Saturn we are talking about here. And perhaps if we are not so practical, there may be a lack of follow through. Also, darker thoughts may arise. There may be more feelings of suffering, loneliness, isolation. We may feel disconnected from other people, or we may suffer in silence, or we may be dealing with a lot of inner pain. So I suppose these are things just to keep in mind when it comes to this transit, and considering the types of people you have in your life and who is there to really support you. And moreover, this could look like us needing to recharge, really needing to actually develop some type of boundaries, actually, especially emotional boundaries between us and others, and being able to at times consider what we need while simultaneously, sure, okay, being there to support other people in the ways that we can, but still considering those boundaries, how much we are capable of, how much energy can we give of ourselves. And following on from this point, I suppose, with this transit, perhaps we feel a bit more tired, sleepy. I know for me, just going from a personal example of mine. So in my solar return from 2023 until 2024, I have a Pisces rising. I've never actually had a Pisces rising within my solar return chart before. And already, it's only been a couple of weeks, but already I am noticing that I'm a bit more tired in the mornings, and I feel more of a need to stay in my pajamas. Another thing here is us being mature about our emotions, being mature about our our inner chaos. Often Pisces energy can become overwhelmed. And Tracy, you said it there. You said about feeling drained. There is that element of Pisces of just feeling drained and feeling really weighed down by responsibilities. Following on from this point, I mean, Saturn is tied to our responsibilities, so it could be that we do indeed feel like just this, oh, this weight. And so in this way, these types of things may very well come up while Saturn is in Pisces. And moreover, there is the setting boundaries and just being patient about our emotional renewals. Pisces energy is very much connected with renewal. Um, but with Saturn being in Pisces, this is about just being steady when it comes to our renewals, not forcing change, not pushing, also not resisting. But again, like I said, it's this whole notion of flowing, and allowing and letting go of control when it comes to Pisces energy. Now, the last thing that I want to mention here is that this Saturn in Pisces transit can perhaps suggest more um, natural disasters. And I want to say this with great sensitivity. Of course, I am aware of what's happening, in Turkey and Syria. And yeah, just thinking here about the tragedies and the losses there. But I somehow can also see that Pisces energy it's a very symbolic energy, and I suppose in a way the Saturn entering Pisces may point toward our lack of humanity, the lack of support often, and also perhaps suggesting this likelihood of us needing to perhaps lean on one another more, needing to support one another. And this can even be tied to our mental well-being, our emotional well-being. I mean, there's so many people today who are struggling with their own mental health. And so Saturn in Pisces may be really touching on these very, very sensitive um, emotional areas for a lot of humanity. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, a lot of intensity happening. Yep. That is true, Angela. Okay. Moving on to discuss here Jupiter conjunct Chiron. So first and foremost, I do just want to say here that in the new moon in Pisces video, I accidentally skipped over this, probably because I was so nervous. But in that video, I talked about how during the new moon in Pisces, there was this conjunction between Jupiter and Chiron. But throughout March, that conjunction, so it's going to get closer and closer and closer. And on the 12th of March, there's going to be so Jupiter and Chiron are going to be the exact same degree. So let's think here about what Chiron represents. Chiron represents things like healing wounds, medicine. And then Jupiter represents things like the bigger picture, our gifts, expansion, growth. And then Aries is tied to our independence, our freedom, our sense of identity, leadership, adventure. So I see this as us undergoing this healing when it comes to these Aries qualities. And then also considering how our healing can lead to greater growth and greater perhaps empathy as well toward the rest of the world too, considering the fact that Jupiter is one of the rulers of Pisces here. But basically, come the 12th of March, I mean, it could be that you feel triggered. You may feel extra emotional, especially if you feel like your independence is being attacked or your freedom is being taken away. So yeah, there are these possible sensitive areas that can come up. And the whole thing about this too is, well, the North Node is going to be moving into Aries from the 17th of July, and then we have this solar eclipse in Aries on the 20th of April. So, with the conjunction between Jupiter and Chiron, this is sort of, I suppose, in a way, setting the stage, if you will, before the solar eclipse happens, before the North Node moves into Aries. I mean, we are about to enter this new chapter to do with the likes of leadership, to do with the likes of our identity, really questioning who we are, questioning our intentions, questioning our goals and our motives and what we want out of life. So perhaps with that Chiron conjunct Jupiter, it will be a day where, maybe we will get triggered. Maybe we will feel insecure. Maybe we will feel like other people are denying us or rejecting us, or we are extra critical of ourselves in terms of who we are and our identity. But it's also a time to, really focus on our growth and focusing on, what we would like to change for ourselves. Okay. Venus will enter Taurus from the 16th of March until the 11th of April. And Venus is comfortable in this sign because it's home in the sign of Taurus. So, what can this suggest? Well, this suggests that throughout March and into April, we are somewhat more sensible and steady, or we want to be sensible and steady about our resources, about our money, about our earning potential, about our physical security as well. Though the really significant thing about this transit, of course, is we've had Uranus and the North Node in Taurus for a long time. Uranus longer than the North Node, of course, but Venus will conjunct the North Node on the 20th of March, and then Venus will conjunct Uranus on the 30th of March. So The way I see this is um, we may want to really stabilize our desires, our life path, our destiny, if you will, may be called to question, and really being realistic and practical with ourselves and being sensible about the types of decisions we make, and wanting to feel somewhat grounded when it comes to our life path. And just moving slowly. It's a time to really slow down when Venus is in Taurus. And with that conjunction to Uranus, I mean, by the 30th of March, it could be that there is some new, fresh breakthrough. There's a breakthrough that happens, and we are able to gain a new perspective about the future. And so we may want to kind of implement those changes. Okay. But I would say that it's still about being slow and methodical and making sure that all areas are covered. Taurus is a very deliberate sign. Taurus is a sign that is intentional about its actions and about what it wants. Also, with Venus entering Taurus, there is a greater ability to really focus on the very foundation and stability of our connections, our loving connections, our romantic connections, but also thinking about friendships, um, thinking about friendships, thinking about relatives, possible coworkers. And it's also likely that we will take our time when it comes to our relationships, our finances, our security, um, things like our style, our comfort, our relaxation, beauty. These things may really come up, and um, we'll consider these things. And perhaps we will want to appreciate our skills and our talents, and we'll indulge, we'll really just take everything in. Taurus energy is um stopping and considering, what is around you, what are your surroundings, and being just also grateful for what you have, for what you own, and enjoy the simple pleasures, says Taurus. Hello, Lavinia. Hello, welcome. Oh, and hello, Vivian. Welcome. If I have missed anyone, I'm sorry. I hope I haven't. It's good to have you here. Right. So, moving on to Mercury entering Aries. So, this is going to take place from the 19th of March to the 3rd of April. And the first thing to say about this is Mercury will start to conjunct Chiron, and it will also conjunct Jupiter by the end of the month. So those things that I was talking about there to do with, so Jupiter conjunct Chiron, when Mercury also makes those conjunctions to these planets, it could be that, I suppose, there's greater sensitivity surrounding our thoughts and our inner dialogue. So in this way, just keep in mind, being perhaps somewhat gentle. I mean, Aries energy can be quite aggressive at times, very bossy and pushy and demanding. It's like, I need to do more and I need to push harder and I need to overcome this thing. So especially with the conjunction to Chiron, I would just say, consider that inner voice, and yeah, be kind, be kind yourselves. But then I suppose as well with Jupiter, the conjunction to Jupiter too, maybe it's that there are greater feelings of, positivity and enthusiasm. So yeah, there can be the kind of pushy aggressive side to Aries, but there can also be the excitable, that spontaneous side too. And with Jupiter coming into the equation, there's more of a readiness. It's like, right, I'm raring to go. I'm ready for the next thing. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Also, there is the ability here with Mercury entering Aries to think on our feet, to make decisions fast, okay? To be assertive, to be direct when it comes to communication, to face discussions head on, to face any challenges within discussions head on. Um, Getting to the point as well is very much a Mercury and Aries thing. However, there can be the tendency of being tactless, tactless opinions. Um, oh, that's interesting. What is my Mercury? Can you guess? I love asking people if they can guess. Can you guess what my Mercury sign is? Yeah, so there's the tactless part of this energy. And there's also the ability to come up with original ideas, to be inventive, to be innovative, kind of thinking again about being spontaneous, just being really creative. And there is, yes, bingo, you got it. That is correct. Well done. That was amazing. You got it. Aquarius. Um, and there's a lot of passion there. So, passion, energy, drive, excitement, and having the courage to make our ideas happen, really putting them into action. So, I do think that with Mercury entering Aries, especially with the conjunction to Jupiter, we feel this way. We really feel like, you know what? Let's do this. I'm ready to go. So, there is that side to it too. And then Aries season will begin. Aries season will begin. The sun is exalted in the sign of Aries, new beginnings. And there will be a live event on the 21st of March where we are going to talk about Aries season. So, this is a season where we're going to be a leader, not a follower. We're going to shine when it comes to our courage, when it comes to our bravery, and when it comes to our honesty. Shining also when it comes to our goals and our passions. And it's also likely, no, I do not have a Sagittarius moon. Can you guess that one? Sorry, guys. I love getting people to guess what my placements are. But yes, so attention when we stand up for the underdog, when we're able to confront challenges head on, head on. And we're going to focus then more so on our individual journeys, on our individual paths. And there's also the ability to act on our goals and to trust our instincts during this season. So it's going to be a really action-packed month, especially because, season, especially because at the beginning of Aries season, there will be a 0-degree new moon. And oh my gosh, it's so interesting here because, Danielle, yes, I do. I have an Aries moon, and we're talking about the Aries moon right now. Wow. Is that synchronicity? Is that the term? So funny. But yes, the new moon in Aries is going to be 0 degrees. So it's taking place. I'm just so excited about this because I've been thinking about this for so many months. So it's 0 degrees, and it's at the very beginning of Aries season, and that's the very beginning of the astrological new year. So there's just something so symbolic about this. I just feel like this beginning, so the new moon and Aries season, it's going to be such a big, powerful thing. It's very powerful, it's very significant. Um, and so that's going to take place. The new moon in Aries is going to take place on the 21st of March. So, what could this look like? This could look like us setting intentions when it comes to things like self assertion, leadership, our goals, getting quiet as well about our goals and our passions, taking time to really reflect. And then there is the ability to reflect upon how brave and daring we are. And then the solar eclipse in Aries is going to be on the 20th of April at 29 degrees. So 0 degrees is a critical degree, really pointing toward new beginnings, right? It's like the beginning of a sign, and it's like, right, okay, let's go. I've started. But then 29 degrees is also a critical degree, but it's like the whole, oh my gosh, I'm about to move into a new sign. And I just find it so interesting how there's the 0 degree and then there's the 29 degree during the solar eclipse. And so that solar eclipse is really going to point towards such a new chapter to do with these Aries themes. So pay close attention to what comes up for you from the new moon in Aries to the solar eclipse in Aries. But I will talk more about that solar eclipse in Aries and about the new moon in Aries closer to the time. But essentially, here, folks, we're noticing fresh perspectives about our creativity, about being spontaneous, and new beginnings when it comes to the likes of winning, competition, and coming first. Yay! Another event, which is quite a big event, is Pluto entering Aquarius. Danielle, yes, so the live videos will be available for everyone to watch here on YouTube after. Yes, it will be available. So if you need to leave or if you can't attend sometime, the video is going to be here for you. So like I said here, Pluto will enter Aquarius. So this is going to take place from the 23rd of March to the 11th of June. Now, the long transit of Pluto being in Aquarius will start from November 2024, and that's going to be for the next 20 years or so. But this is kind of like a sneak peek, I suppose you could say. Okay, this is a time where we're really going to consider how things will transform for us when it comes to things like community, innovation, technology, independence, and freedom. And Saturn, so Saturn will just have left Aquarius, but perhaps with Pluto entering Aquarius here, it's good to think about, what occurred around March 2020 and then December 2020. And I don't think I need to really say too much about this. I'm not suggesting that it's going to happen again, thinking about COVID. So with everything happening there, but I still think it's good to perhaps consider, what was occurring back then for us and to think about how with Pluto moving into Aquarius, with it hitting that 0 degrees then, thinking here about what transformations will occur within society. Now, with that being said, perhaps you won't feel this transit so much if you don't have any planets in Aquarius at an early degree. But I am going to share just a personal experience from this. Um, so I do not have any personal planets in Aquarius under 10 degrees. So I have Saturn in Aquarius at 10 degrees, and then I have my Sun and Mercury, which are after Saturn. So for me, I see Pluto entering Aquarius to be a big deal. And this is just the beginning. And the reason why is because of the community that is coming. To me, that's a big step for me. So that is a personal experience here that I wanted to share. But still, I think the most change, of course, is going to occur um, whenever Pluto enters Aquarius at the end of 2024. Oh, and also just for more context, Saturn, the 10-degree Saturn in my chart makes the exact same degree as my Gemini midheaven. So yeah, I can feel like this change. With the Pluto right now being 28 or 29 right now degrees there in Capricorn, it's like, oh my gosh, there's something more here in terms of community. And I suppose doing this right now, it has been a big step for me. So that's just my own kind of quick experience and my example I wanted to share about Pluto entering Aquarius. And then lastly, we have Mars entering Cancer. And perhaps what a relief for many of us. And again, it could be a really stressful time for others of us. So this is going to occur from the 25th of March. Oh, that's great, Dan. Great, great. Thank you for being here. So from the 25th of March to the 20th of May, now Mars in Cancer is in its fall. It can be challenging to take action having Mars in Cancer because of all the emotional side tied to it. So this could look like us experiencing really passionate emotions or reacting to situations. However, there will be a bit of a trine there between Saturn and Mars, so perhaps that will point toward greater stability, so to speak, greater steadiness, maybe really thinking things through before we react. Moreover, if we think about how Mars is tied to our goals may be geared toward emotional security, our home life, caregiving, and support. And Mars can also be tied to our energy levels. So our energy levels will most likely fluctuate depending on our moods. So yeah, this is why I think it can be difficult then with the Mars being in its fall. I mean, we can become emotionally overwhelmed, drained. Also, difficulties meeting deadlines is a possibility. Um, but but the really good thing actually with this transit is that we may feel really driven and motivated by feeling loved, by being nurtured. We may be driven by our emotions. So when we feel that kick, that push, we're going to be so dedicated and determined. But then lastly, just to consider here, if we think about how Mars is tied to our sex lives, well, it could be that we consider how we feel when it comes to sex, how we feel when it comes to those relationships and in the bedroom. Okay, so that is the month of March. I hope you enjoyed this live today, and I am just going to leave the little code there. If you did enjoy this this live, if you enjoyed this presentation today about the month of March, you can buy me a coffee. I put the little code there. There's also a link in the description box. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. Now, again, my website is hannahselsewhere.com if you're interested in my services. And then the Cosmic Warriors Club is coming very, very soon on the 18th of March. So I do hope you can join, and there will be more information to come about the club. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. And I am going to enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I hope you enjoy your Sunday as well.